Hey, this is JC, the Fantasy Football Questioner. Now, I know that the videos may not be the best. I'm working with what I have. At some point, I can get a new camera and a microphone, but for right now, I make do with what I have. So, let's get into it. First, the riddle of the Denver Broncos. Now, their new head coach is Nathaniel Hackett, who was the offensive coordinator in Green Bay. And he brings with him the tight ends coach to be the new offensive coordinator for the Broncos. So what are they going to do in Denver? Well, Nathaniel Hackett likes to run 11 personnel a lot. So that means one running back, one tight end, and 3 wide receivers. And so with Russell Wilson liking to throw the ball to the outside and deep, I think we'll see all 3 wide receivers and the tight end involved. So sort of a wide receiver by committee, if you will. Now in Green Bay, they had a 50-50 backfield, and I think they'll stay with that in Denver. So I think Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon will still be about the same. I'm not looking for a big spike from Williams. Now in Green Bay, they had, by statistics, the best red zone offense in history last season. So I believe the Broncos will be able to score when they're in the red zone, but it'll probably be spread out between the running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers. So the riddle is solved. The next riddle is Ezekiel Elliott. What is Elliott going to do this season? He has been on somewhat of a decline, especially if you look at his yards per game. They're using Tony Pollard more. I think everyone knows this, but I am not ready to declare Elliott dead in fantasy just yet. I think he has one more season left. Now I am projecting Elliott to have 900 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns, 40 receptions, 250 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So you can make of that what you will. I would draft Ezekiel Elliott in the 3rd round. If he's not dead yet, he can still be of use. The next riddle is Derrick Henry. How is the injury going to affect him? Well, let's see. He had a bone fracture. Those should heal very well. I'm not a doctor, but bone fractures should heal well. There should be no problems. Not like a soft tissue injury. Those can be problematic and more complex. So if you're asking yourself about Derrick Henry, take him if you can get him. Now last, we'll look at Cooper Kupp. What's going to happen? Is he going to have as big a year as he did last year? Probably not. But he had 439 fantasy points in PPR. Suppose he only scores 350 fantasy points. He'd still be the wide receiver 1. So if we look at what his stats could be this year, projected 125 receptions, 1647 receiving yards, and 11 touchdowns. Those are all drops from last season. If you project him at that, he'll probably still be wide receiver 1. That's with 5 fewer touchdowns, 20 fewer receptions, and 300 fewer receiving yards. He's still the wide receiver 1. So don't be afraid of Cooper Kupp. Now that will do it for today. This has been the Questioner, solving your fantasy riddles. Now it's a jungle out there, even if it's an urban jungle. And YouTube, stay free.